So, guys, yesterday I decided to watch ROH, and it was a show that had its ups and downs. So, the big problem with the show is that I really like how they mentioned Death Before Dishonor, but there was really nothing but matches. And as I've kind of said too, that matches are like watching an action movie. If it's just action and no like, okay, we won, this is how we feel, this is who I want to face, or I want to have this match because this is going to give me to Death Before Dishonor, or this is going to give me a match with Mark Briscoe, or this is going to give me a match with Athena, or Tony Khan comes out and says, okay, the ROH tag team titles, the ROH trios titles, and the ROH men's title, women's titles is going to be defended at Wembley Stadium. Who wants it? These champions are gonna be in situations where they're gonna have to defend their titles from now until then. Really, a lot can happen in ROH. So give us kind of like a hooker or a kicker, for all this. And then also you have Death Before Dishonor in a couple of weeks, so definitely do something with that. And then the next thing that I'll say is you have Forbidden Door. Why not take Athena and give her a match against a Japanese wrestler, or maybe you can do I forgot her name. You pick, so why not like Athena and Hikaru Shida? I was gonna say Riho, but you do Hikaru Shida versus Athena for the RH title. What about Mark Briscoe? I know he's in the ladder match, but what if he was defending his ROH title against Tetsuya Naito or another Japanese wrestler, or what about I think Hiroshi Tanahashi. There's somebody else that I'm thinking of as well, but I can't remember. So yeah, you just gotta make these titles a bigger deal. So the first match is Billy Stark versus Sandra Moon. I'm happy they mentioned Death Before Dishonor, because usually a lot of times with AEW shows in the past they've had an issue of not mentioning shows or not building match, so at least they're hyping that. Billy Stark's a suplex into a 2 count. I'm not a fan of this. Hit a finisher or do something more severe. You can't just like hit a basic move like a suplex on somebody, get 2 count. That makes no sense unless you are in a jobber type of match, really. So and also the match was very slow paced. I'm not a fan of slow paced matches because it looks very fake and choreographed. It should be a little bit more faster with their movements. Sandra Moon, she's known for doing a moonsault, so I really think that what would have helped is during the match, there's points where Billy Starks is kind of a little wounded, and she puts her in the corner, and Sandra Moon just tries to do moonsault attempts. Like that would kind of be the way to kind of sell that her moonsault is lethal, or even do something like once it hits on anybody, they automatically lose. Also, I really like that at the end, Billy Starks was going to finish the match. She's known for doing a Swanton Bomb, but she actually doesn't do it. So I'm very happy that she did that, because she's supposed to be a heel, and that's a very heel move. There's a lot of wrestlers that, especially in AEW, that will just do that to pop the crowd. If you're a heel, do heel things. It's just like what happened with Big Show. Like, he threw a chair, it ricocheted off the ring ropes. People told him to do it again. He's a heel. He teases it, and then he doesn't do it, because he just knows that, you're supposed to be a bad guy, don't do things that are not bad guy related. Annoy the crowd. The next match was Nick Comoroto and Jacob E. Watts versus Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. I was a little worried during this match, because I was very concerned that Shane Taylor Promotions were going to lose, because Shane Taylor is definitely one of those wrestlers that I feel has a lot of potential. They could be a good trios team, but they're kind of in the jobber role, really. So Comoroto does the bench press to Lee Moriarty. He's being advertised as this big man. And then through the match, I think what we're seeing is that Comoroto is kind of like the person who does the bulk of the work, and Jacoby Watts is the person who kind of is like, you know what, I want to take advantage of you and take advantage of you because you don't stand up for yourself. Very similar to Killswitch and Christian Cage. Jacoby Watts grabs the microphone, and I don't understand what the hell he's saying. It sounds very abstract, really. So he needs to kind of like not speak like he's writing a T.S. Eliot poem. I don't know what the hell he's saying. Just tease the crowd. Be like, I'm Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, or I'm the only winner in Las Vegas. I should go down to the casino where you guys all lose, or something like that. Just something kind of witty. He should do that. Shane Taylor and Comoroto ram into each other, and that was kind of cool, like their sequence that they do that because they're both bigger guys. I think you got a bunch of meat chance, So if that works, it works. It shows that do stuff with your bigger wrestlers. Don't just kind of have Shane Taylor lose when he's going up against a person you want to build forward. Shane does a bunch of headbutts. Karan does the bulk of the work, and and beating down Lee Moriarty. The knockout punch is Shane Taylor beats Nick Camarado. So definitely Jacoby Watts is being protected, and Jacoby Watts is doing that thing too where he wants to get the victory. He wants his partner to actually take a couple of hits, really, for him. So the next match is there's a lot of matches on the show. I think there's 6 or 7 matches. Is Red Velvet versus Vivian Van. They should do a segment of Athena being close to 600 days, because I think they announced that Athena's gonna talk like next week or something like that. But honestly, that should mean something. She wants to keep her streak alive through Wembley Stadium. So I kind of think that why not actually kind of do something with that? Why not do a champion versus champion, ROH women's title versus the AEW women's title or the TBS title? Why not do something like that? Make her a big deal. She has something special, and you're not doing that. Mark Briscoe and Athena should defend their titles at Forbidden Door. I mentioned that. Vivian Van does knee strikes, gets a 2 count. That's not cool. As I said, that's really kind of like a regular move. You don't do knee strikes and you get a 2 count. Vivian Van does a cross arm breaker. Red Velvet does a cross arm breaker. Vivian Van does a top rope takeover. Red Velvet does a double knee while Vivian Van is in the ropes. That looked really sick and painful. Red Velvet wins. I really like that Red Velvet's talking to the camera. But again, I couldn't really make out what she's saying. I think you need a backstage promo or need somebody to talk to her on the microphone and have her kind of like chill and just like really explain herself. She's saying something like, I've been winning in the rankings. I'll see you at Death Before Dishonor. It's going to be, fresh out of your mama's cooking. I'm going to cook you, Athena. I'm going to cook your reign. And something like that, really. You have to kind of, as I said, give her a purpose. She wants to win all these matches, so therefore she wants to face Athena at Death Before Dishonor. Or she says, like, I want to do double duty, and I'm going to talk to Tony Khan about getting a match at Forbidden Door. Give me a Hikaru Shida, give me a real challenge. Do stuff like that, because that is building a story with your wrestlers. They want to achieve something. They want to either challenge themselves or they want to go straight for the opponent. The next match was the worst match on the card. I had a hard time following it. Lance Archer and the Righteous versus Top Flight and Action Andretti versus the Infantry and Dalton Castle and the Dark Order. So I was really out of this match because there's 12 people. It's very hard to follow. You cannot have matches like this ever, because even in the Royal Rumble, they very rarely have 12 people in the ring unless they have a big wrestler like Braun Strowman or Kane trying to eliminate everybody, and that's way too much to follow. And also, I hate these matches because they have the stupid rule of 2 people in the ring, and then people just are supposed to tag you. So somebody from your opponent, if a team is your opponent, that team has to tag you to steal your spot. So you go into the ring and then you actually compete. So I don't like these matches. If you're gonna do 4 teams, 4 people need to be in the ring at one time. You don't do just 2 and then the other people just try to reach out and tag you. That's very, very stupid. I do not like how the Dark Order did a pose on top of Action Andretti. That looked a little too comical. The Righteous and Dalton Castle and Dark Order. I forgot something in my notes. Archer does a choke slam on the Captain Sean Dean onto Bravo. Dalton Castle suplexes multiple people in a row to clear the ring. They do and then they do a spot of 3 people on top of Lance Archer trying to pin him, and it looked a little comical. It looked kind of stupid. I understand they're trying to make him look big and strong, but it kind of felt a little too silly just to do that. And then you went from like 2 people to ring to multiple spots with 4 or 5 people. So usually when you have a wrestling match like that, you throw it out, really. But that was just way too chaotic. It was too. It was just trying to feature everybody. It was a very overbooked match. I got bored because I couldn't keep track of all the people, and there was really no story. It was just to feature people. There was no like thrilling thing. Like, what would happen if the winners were going to face a war to get a trios championship shot, and they are like, okay, we got to do this at Death Before Dishonor. We got to walk into Wembley Stadium. I want to be in front of 70,000 people. I want to be part a big moment. You know, then they'll give me a reason to care about, whoever they want me to care about. That's good. And then the other thing I would say is that any of these teams could be the trios champion. Like I said with AEW, the AEW does have a problem with their trios division. They can make that a lot bigger and better. I need to do a video on that for you guys. I was actually I was actually kind of saying is that it was a little weird because my notes said to finish with two people double pinning and doing a double finisher on a Dark Order member. And what happens, I think what I'm trying to say is that there was a Dark Order member, they always lose. So two people were hitting them with their finishers, two people were pinning this Dark Order member at the same time, and that person kicks out. Like, imagine if John Cena hit the Attitude Adjustment and then Randy Orton was in the right spot, did an RKO, and the person that they hit was like Heath Slater or Santino Morello, and then Santino Morello jumps out. The Dark Order's been losing a lot, really. If you do and they're kind of comedy characters, so if you do kind of have that, you can't really, you really can't do that, because that doesn't make any sense. I think it was Action Andretti who won, or one of the Dark Order members. But if it was one of the Dark Order members, that's just stupid. That's really stupid. The next match it had was Diamante, Marina Shafir, Alex Windsor, Lady Frost, Abaddon, and Layla Hirsch. Okay, this is annoying. You went from 12 to 6. Now you have way too many matches of multiple people. That's too cliche. That's lazy booking. Because that's just a way to feature everybody, so everybody feels like they're earning their paycheck. Who wants to earn their paycheck? Too many multiple person matches on the show. This is also just featuring people instead of storytelling. Why do these people want to have a match? Do these people actually want to go after a women's trios or a women's six-man title? They can do that. Tony Khan likes to make titles. A lot could have been accomplished if they had promos before the match, after the match, with the winner and the loser, or if someone Abaddon says, you know what, if any of you two lose, you got to deal with me. There's so many ways you can kind of build the future feuds off of this. Lady Frost does a bunch of gymnastics to a wrestler into the corner. Windsor hits a right angle slam onto Layla Hirsch. And then also Windsor does a Shining Wizard and a clutch slam, and I believe like she pinned Layla Hirsch, really, but they were trying to make Windsor, Alex Windsor, like a big deal in this match. So what are we gonna do with Alex Windsor? Is she like, what would happen if she talked to the microphone and said, you know what, Red Velvet, you have a winning streak. It's gonna be you and me next week, bitch. And then we're gonna, or you and me are gonna have a match at Forbidden Door, and I'm gonna whoop your Forbidden Door, and we're gonna go to Supercard of Honor, or at Blood and Guts. We're gonna get really bloody and really dirty, and whoever survives that, we're gonna have a match. Whoever survives that's gonna have a match with Athena. Just stuff like that, really. Like, this a little bit of that promo shit. That builds a story, that builds a feud, that builds a cliffhanger, that builds a anticipation. The next match was Harley Cameron versus Trish Adora. I keep calling Harley Cameron Mariah May. I wasn't really into this match. Trish Adora, she does a split arm. She does a split, and she spreads her arms into a submission thing. That actually looked really, really cool. Why is Mariah May licking her cheeks? They have to be careful when they tease this lesbian stuff, because some people may say that's blackfacing and lesbianism. So I have to be really careful with that. And then Harley Cameron hits her with an air raid submission for a finisher. So I really wasn't I really wasn't into this, and I believe like Trish Adora, she did a spot where she was hitting Harley Cameron with her butt, and they're saying that she does squats, so her butt muscle is like can lift over 500 pounds or something like that. So I kind of felt that that was like a little stupid. That's a little too comical. I know I say 48-hour film project, but I'm not going to do that anymore. New channel, new time. Let's grow up and let's be a little bit more respectful. The last match was Undisputed Kingdom. I don't remember his name, but his name was Bad Dude, Bad Dude something, and Shia Gabara. And I forgot the name of the team. I think they had like a name that you couldn't really say. It was a little hard. They synced Night Effect chops in the beginning. They do double teams on Taven. And then they also said with this match, the rule of this match is that you have to you win two ways. You have to beat the Undisputed Kingdom by pinfall submission, or you have to beat them in a 10 count. If they can't if the Undisputed Kingdom can't beat them in 10 minutes, then these opponents win. And then what I would actually say is that how effective would it have been if you had a counter? How effective would it have been if you had graphics listing these rules? Because most people don't know what the fuck these ROH rules are. Stop with these esoteric rules. Explain them. And if you're doing a countdown match, have a freaking countdown, because that builds a lot of expectations. And then and it's also bad too, because these two guys were big and bulky. They compared to the Steiner brothers, and then these two skinny weeds actually beat them. But I would actually said, like as I said before, subvert expectations. What would happen if you actually had these two people beat them, and then you said, okay, you guys are going to have a match at Forbidden Door, and then they actually win the next match? Matt Taven's really impressed me. I think that he has the body language. I've actually seen him in person in the Boston show, and he was flipping off people. He was acting intense. I mean, I think he knows that people don't take him seriously, so he kind of plays like a douche type of role very well. He in my heart of hearts, Matt Taven really cares about being in AEW, and that really means a lot to me. I appreciate people who are trying. I see it in Queen Aminata, even though, like I said, she needs a lot of work. I see it in Matt Taven. He really knows. He really is trying to be a bigger deal, and I respect that. But overall, bad show. You cannot have a show with just matches and no building to future events. You have Death Before Dishonor coming up. You have Forbidden Door. You have Wembley Stadium. Where why wouldn't any wrestler want to be on a show that's drawing 70,000 people? That's like the WrestleMania for AEW. There's so many stories that they can tell, and they're not telling them.